Welcome to Star Sign Horoscopes, presented by Astrology Hub. This is your place to discover how each zodiac sign can work with this week's astrology. I am your host, Jamie Magee, an astrologer, author, and a member of the production team here at Astrology Hub, and I am really excited to dive into this week's astrology with you. Hi everyone, welcome to Star Sign Horoscopes. I am your astrologer, Jamie Magee, and today we're going to be taking a look at the astrology for May 6th through the 12th. I hope you guys are all having a great week out there. Now, if you're watching live or watching the recording, I would love to know where you're tuning in from. And our bonus question for this week is, where is Aries in your natal chart? Now, why am I so curious about where Aries is in your chart? It is because Jupiter, the planet of expansion, growth, optimism, is leaving Pisces and moving into Aries this week. This is a big transit to talk about. Now, if you're curious about how this energy may play out in your life, I really invite you to think back to 2010, 2011. What are some highlighted themes that come up for you when you reflect back? It's likely that you're going to see some of those themes show up now, but what your job is to ensure that you grasp every opportunity that's coming your way so it can help you both in the short term and in the long term. Now, this Aries energy, this Jupiter and Aries energy speaks to fiery, bold confidence, to making your own way, to thinking of the big picture. There's a lot of inspiration and a lot of originality that you can draw from with this transit. Now, honestly, with Jupiter and Aries in a very real way, you're about to strike a match and expand out into brand new territory. Even though there's some familiar themes, it's still new territory. I look forward to speaking to all of the signs about how they can make the most of this energy. Now, this week, we also have Venus, who moved into Aries last week just after the eclipse, offering some suggestions via sextile to Mercury as the weekend kicks off. Now, this is an easy flow of ideas that can definitely inspire or add to some of the revisions that Mercury will work on as he moves into his retrograde on May 10th. Now, I will admit that there are some challenges with Mercury retrograde. Communication in general feels rushed, loud, and often misunderstood, but the invitation of a Mercury retrograde is to slow down, to take your time, to look for the hidden lessons or the new perspective that holds a brilliant insight that you can use on your path going forward. Now, by the time I see you next week, the sun will have taken a few suggestions from Mars and Pisces, and he will meet up with the North Node, illuminating what needs to be revised so you can follow the path that is calling you with your whole heart. All right, guys, just as a weekly reminder, please be sure to listen to both your sun sign and your rising sign to get a better overall view of how you can work with this week's energy. Okay, let's get started. Okay, Taurus, let's take a look at your week. Now, Taurus, last week's eclipse may have ignited every corner of your life with new inspiration, big shifts, the idea to make them now, or they could have already happened. And for some of you going through that and definitely afterwards, it could feel really draining, which is why the energy of this week that is inviting you to slow down, to take your time, to go more inward, to be more reflective could seem inviting to you. Now, after the eclipse last week, when your ruling planet Venus moved into Aries, you could have sensed like this growing desire or this whispering desire to begin closing chapters and release what is no longer serving you so you can fully step into these transitions of your life that are starting to emerge. Now, this week, Jupiter is going to move into this same area. So you may sense that same growing desire to release old traumas, anxieties, to lay down bad habits and pick up good habits that really serve your soul, your body, and your mind, that help you feel connected to something that's bigger than you. It's all about self-care for you, Taurus. It's a great week to take that time to give yourself that nourishment. Really let your spirit grow with this energy. Now, this sense of reflection, taking your time and slowing down is definitely going to invite in some revisions or new perspectives to some of the changes that Mercury will be working on during his retrograde. It's possible within all of these big shifts, these big ideas of the last week and even a few weeks before that there's a new way to look at something or understand something that's starting to unfold or just now starting to reveal itself, like another side of that story. So I encourage you to really take your time, dial deep within, and you're going to find your way to work with this energy. Okay, Taurus, I do hope you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Gemini, let's take a look at your week. Now, Gemini, last week, right after the eclipse, Venus stepped into an area of your life that supports your dreams, your friends, and your community. Inspiration around all relationships, friendships, one on one, and how to communicate with them is really up for you right now. So, I encourage you to look for new people that really inspire that burning fire, that courage that you have building inside of you. Now, this same area of your life will be amplified as Jupiter moves into Aries this week. You may quickly find that your social calendar is packed, or the ideas about how you can network, what you can do to reach your dreams and your goals are simply endless. Now, I encourage you to really think back to 2010 and 2011 if you had anything going on then. My question to you is, did you make the most of that networking? Did you make the most of those friendships and how you're communicating and connecting with people? This reflection will help you set your sights and ambitions really high with this energy as Jupiter moves into Aries. Now, Gemini, you are a master at multitasking. And as your ruling planet, Mercury, moves into retrograde, you may find that you are revising and planning forward, all while jumping on opportunities as they arise at the same time. I do encourage you that if you hear or see something more than once, to slow down, to look for the lesson, say, okay, well, I've seen this more than once. Something's trying to tell me something, and kind of dial into what this is. This action will really help you work with all that deep transformational energies that began to unfold last week and really work to move forward with your overall dream. I do hope you have a great week, Gemini. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Cancer, let's take a look at your week. Now, Cancer, after last week, you could still be feeling really supercharged, excited, and pumped up around something that has to do with your friends, your passion, networking, groups of people that kind of have that same ambition, which is why naturally this week your attention is really focused on your overall reputation. Right after the eclipse last week, Venus moved into the area of your life that really supports or acknowledges your sense of purpose, your career, how people know you. It automatically highlights who you partner with, where your roots are, the work you do, the assets you make, all those places in between. Now, this week, Jupiter is going to follow her into that same area of your life, and he has not been there for 12 years. So I encourage you to kind of think back. Were there any big career moves, any big shifts around your reputation? Because some of those themes or some of those opportunities in that same kind of fashion are going to show up. And remember, it's up to you to grab them as you see them. Your potential is absolutely endless. Your ability to make a profound first impression is powerful. With this energy, you really want to engage, speak from the soul, and have that courage to ask for the advancement or the acknowledgement that you want to have. Now, all this new inspiration, all this forward motion, this fire energy will also help encourage you to review the last couple of weeks, all those breakthroughs that you've had, all those shifts that you've had, things that you kind of charged through. Now, if you're asked to review something or if something disrupts this outward growth that you have, I definitely want you to see it as an invitation, as a gift to slow down and to reflect, because there's something there that you need to help you to move forward. So definitely see it as at the very least, an invitation to gain a new perspective, to close doors so you can fully surrender into the opportunities that you have and these next chapters that are starting to open for you, because they're going to be big chapters, Cancer. It's definitely hard to forget. I hope you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Leo, let's take a look at your week. Now, Leo, after last week, you could be holding this big, huge desire to take a message, take something out to a new horizon. Like, I'm ready to go in this new direction in a big, bold way. Now, as Jupiter moves into Aries this week, that idea, that spark that you feel is really going to be burning. It's going to be amplified in a big way. So a lot of opportunities that Jupiter is going to bring to you have to do with learning, teaching, publishing, communication, faith, new places, our new people. These are all areas that are going to be highlighted for you and amplified, and they hold a lot of power because this is going to reach a lot of people on a wide scale. So my word of caution for you with this energy is to stay humble, to not claim that you hold all the answers or that your way is the only way. Because if you can discover how to remain both the student and the teacher, you're going to be able to tap into the highest potential of this transit as you work with Jupiter and Aries.
Now, as you're working on all this, expansion into this area, it's definitely going to inspire or highlight some things that you want to go back and revisit and review. Now, the retrograde for you, Mercury retrograde, is more so in a public area of your life. It's going to be highlighting things around your career, how people know you. It automatically, highlights your partnerships, your roots, and your overall vitality. So this Mercury retrograde could feel a little bit frustrating because it's more so outward, it's more on the public side. But I invite you to just, slow down when things get frustrating, kind of step away and ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Is there a lesson? Is there a nugget of wisdom that I can gain from this and take it and use it in all levels of my life, both on the internal and external? I do hope you have a great week though, Leo. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Virgo, let's take a look at your week. Now, Virgo, last week there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of energy that really had you focused on a new horizon. This is what I want to learn. This is what I want to teach. This is the direction I'm going in. But within all of that, you may have also felt that call to come more inward, to reflect, to really think about the legacy that you're a part of, your roots, and that inner strength that you have. Now, this week, as Jupiter moves into Aries, this sensation is going to be enhanced. There's a lot of opportunities to be found when Jupiter works with you in this very private part of your life, such as letting go of old trauma so you can be more present and the current intimate relationships that you have, working with transformation, growing through pain so you can expand out in a new, powerful way. There's also a lot of opportunities around shared resources or opportunities that you can pick up around loans, wealth, creating wealth with others so you have your independent wealth as well. Now, Jupiter's going to expand on whatever you focus on, and he'll reveal the opportunities, but it's definitely up to you to focus on what you want to see grow and to work with those opportunities when they emerge. In other words, if this energy is stirring up things that you rather not deal with, I just invite you to look at where your attention is going. But I also want you to know that whatever's coming up for you in this transformational process, it's a great time to work with any discomfort that stirs up, because you're going to be very protected and guided as you do so. So don't push it all away, but it's an interesting dance. You want to focus on what you want to see grow, but if any shadows come up, you want to work with them because you have that guidance, you have that protection. Now, all this, deep reflective work, kind of looking inside, may have you wanting to revise or revisit some things that you had planned around that new direction that you're trying to go in. And, Virgo, I know you like order. You like a process to the change in your life. So these revisions that come up, these plans that you had solid, if there's any revisions or backtracking that comes up, it could definitely drive you mad. But I assure you that there's a reason for them. And then if you take your time and you look for that reason or that redirect of your attention, I think that you're going to find something really powerful that's going to help you with all of these areas of your life. I do hope you have a great week, Virgo. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Libra, let's take a look at your week. Now, Libra, through last week's big shifts and reveals, you may have noticed a rather warm or fiery sensation slip into your overall relationships, your partnerships, and definitely how you communicate with them. I think that speaking courageously from the heart or making the first move or trying something for the first time could be a very popular theme for you right now, especially as your ruling planet tours this area of your life that has to do with these partnerships. Now, as Jupiter steps into this same area of your life, there's going to be a heightened sense of abundance and opportunities on the table in this area. So, as I said in the opening of the forecast, I think it'll be a great idea for you to reflect on things that may have happened for you in 2010 and 2011. Because this is hitting in a very public area of your chart, it definitely impacts your reputation, your home, your roots, your overall vitality. So I think some of those themes are going to be easy to remember, and it's going to help you notice what opportunities that you have on the table right now. That could honestly be anything from a new powerful relationship or a partnership that is inspired by a very influential resource or source that can really empower all areas of your life. Now, the partnerships here are the wealth of intimacy and shared resources that they may produce, may nudge you to kind of go back and review some things that you've been working on throughout the last couple of weeks. Now, this review that you're doing, you're having all this expansion on an outward level, but the reviews that you're doing could be more internal or more privately. So with them, I think I would encourage you to take your time with this retrograde around anything that comes up with finances, shared resources, partnerships, or deep intimacies, because these revisions are definitely going to help you see the partnerships and the opportunities that you have on the table in a new way. So please don't be frustrated by any revise, revisit, redos that you have, especially if it's something that has to do with finances. I can see how that would be extra frustrating because you thought you had something in place and now you need to revise it, but it's definitely protecting you in the long run. I do hope you have a great week, Libra. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Scorpio, let's take a look at your week. Now, Scorpio, last week, as you worked more outwardly around your partnerships, you may have also noticed that there was a sense of courageous determination moving into your day-to-day routines. It was almost like you had this great idea and you wanted to embark on a new adventure and change something up to kind of help you work with all this outward energy. Now, this fiery energy brings in a lot of attention around your health, your overall wealth, and your vitality. So with this is a great time to pick up any plans or goals that you've had just sitting there and work towards them step by step by picking up one good habit, one good idea after the other and seeing where it carries you through. Now, as Jupiter moves into this same area of your life, the value of your work and how you deliver it is going to be really hard to miss for those who are in your circle. So getting a new job opportunity or changing the scenery of your day-to-day life or something around your health is very possible with this transits. For insights around themes that may come up, definitely think back to 2010 or 2011. What would you do differently if you had those same opportunities right then? Are those opportunities that you had then, did you take advantage of them? And are they still serving you? Or were there any that you left on the table that you wish you could have picked up? Having that mindset going into this energy is going to be very helpful for you. Now, this rush of energy that's coming in could definitely inspire you to review or make changes around commitments that you've had around these partnerships that are amplifying in your life. You know, Scorpio, great questions to ask yourself with this energy is there a door that you left unopened? Is there one that you need to close? Now, during the season, you're reflecting, revising, reviewing, revisiting. Definitely try to listen more than you speak. This is going to help you find that lesson that the universe is trying to unveil to you to help you really, inspire and grow in your overall health and wealth. I do hope you have a great week, Scorpio. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Sagittarius, let's talk about your week. Now, last week, as your attention was zoned in around your day-to-day routines and that forward motion you have there, you may have also noticed that your heart was on fire with new creative ideas. Now, this energy flooding in could inspire new relationships, love affairs, new adventures, or just outright fun. Now, this same area of your life is going to be enhanced as Jupiter moves into Aries. So please reflect back onto any excitement or whatever had your heart pumping with, like, I can't wait to do this in 2010 or 2011. A lot of creative energy here. It's kind of flooded in there. It'll be hard to not remember it. Those same types of themes, those same types of opportunities are coming up for you now. So where did that passion, where did that creativity lead you? Now is a great time to consider how you can work with this abundance that's about to flow into your everyday and really help it to serve you both in the short term, kind of like feel that fire, but also in the long term. Like, where can it carry you across the next 12 years? Definitely plan for the long game. Now, this flood of excitement in this area of your life may have you backtracking over recent communications and actions that were taken around your work, your health, or your routines. There is something here that you need to see the other side of. Now, because this is focused on your daily routine, something that you do, places that you see and go to every day, it could be really frustrating. But my advice is to you is if you find yourself frustrated, consider letting the topic sit for a bit. Like if you're trying to fix something or get through something, let it rest and go do something else and giving your attention to something else, how it helps you. At least it's going to calm you down so you can kind of go back and work through the communication with a different mindset. I think all of this, like if you see something twice, like think about it, taking a break, looking at all sides of it, is definitely going to help you see that perspective that the universe is trying to give to you. And that could definitely flow in and help inspire that beautiful creative energy that you also have flowing into your life. I do hope you have a great week, Sagittarius. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Capricorn, let's take a look at your week. Now, Capricorn, with all that karmic action and breakthroughs around your heart and passions last week, you may have also sensed a strong desire to focus on your home, your roots, and your foundations. It's possible that new ideas or plans that take a bit of courage to initiate are up for you now. Now, as Jupiter moves into this same area of your life, you may sense an abundant urge to make big shifts. Better yet, the opportunities to do so are starting to emerge. So there's like a lot of opportunity for you to make these shifts. So a move or an investment in this area of your life is very possible because it's at your roots, at your core of your life. You're going to definitely sense this impacting your partnerships one-on-one, how people know you, your career, and your overall vitality. Some of the same themes that were up in 2010 or 2011 are up for you again now. So I ask you, Capricorn, what did you do with those opportunities? I encourage you to definitely plan for the long game with this energy. Use your boundless courage, chase whatever opportunity that really speaks to your heart with this energy. Now, the choices that you have now may nudge you to review some of the actions that you've taken around things that you love unconditionally over the last couple of weeks. This could be relationships, something with children, something with an entrepreneurship. You're going to be asked to revise here. You thought you were really clear. You took your time with it, but there's a different side of the story. There's another perspective that you can pick up and work with. Now, as I said last week, Capricorn, I really encourage you to give yourself space to do things more than once and definitely stay curious. Like, why is this person saying this? Why is this coming up for me? Why can I not move through this? Because I think there's an opportunity sitting just out of your focus that you'll be able to pick up if you ask those questions. Your flexibility and your questions are going to bring a depth of understanding that's going to help you make the most of these big changes that are coming for you now. I do hope you have a great week, Capricorn. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Aquarius, let's take a look at your week. Now, Aquarius, last week, through all those big shifts and changes around your home and your roots, it probably impacted your partnerships and your reputation. Throughout all that energy, you may have discovered that you have this endless desire or this courageous desire to communicate, to really use your words and get your message out in a way that makes you feel the most comfortable. Now, this week, as Jupiter moves into this area of your life that has to do with communication, this desire is going to be extremely heightened. Like speaking up, I need to say something. You're going to feel an enhancement there. Now, this is an extraordinary energy that's going to invite in a lot of creative juices and opportunities to share your message in ways that you maybe have not worked before are going to suddenly work, or brand new opportunities are going to come in for you. A shift or an expansion in your local environment or people that you hold close, people that you speak to every day, that's also likely. I think this is a great time for you to network, to really use your voice to plan for both the short term and the long term. Because with this energy, you really want your message to be both unique and timeless. So it's hard to forget. There's an unforgettable message that you want to be able to share. Now, you're also going to be invited, or you may be thinking, as I work with this communication, as I try to figure out how I want to say this, say what I need to say around people I see every day, that there's something that you need to revise that's complicated around your home or around your roots. So some recent plans that you made may need some adjustment. You may need a little bit of flexibility with dates or times. So keeping an open mind around this area of your life that does feel more outward and more public because it has to do with your home is definitely going to help you work with this Mercury retrograde. Remember, like if you see something twice, like say, okay, why am I seeing this twice? Even if it comes up with two different people in two different situations, there's a theme in that message that this retrograde season is wanting you to pick up and adapt and learn from. I do hope you have a great week though, Aquarius. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Pisces, let's take a look at your week. Now, Pisces, last week, as you made bold moves around your local environment or in the way that you communicate in general, you may have also sensed a burning focus on what's valuable to you and why. Now, this week, as Jupiter moves into that same area of your life that has to do with your skills, your earning power, you're going to notice a lot of new opportunities blossoming around you. Use this courage, that burning courage that you have right now, to really think outside of the box, to think of a new way to earn resources. And I think with this energy, sometimes, we think of something really little and we get that, okay, yes, this is great. But I want you to think of both small short-term opportunities and big long-term opportunities with this energies. The same kind of energy was up in 2010 or 2011. And I know I keep saying those dates, but it's very important for you to reflect back on that time, because for you, because it has to do with your earning power. Was there an earning power or a skill that you had then that's still supporting you now? Was there one that you left on the table that you wish you could have picked up? Or how can you use the opportunities that are coming in now to ensure that in 12 years, they're still supporting you? They're still there. It's a skill, it's an asset, it's something that is a resource to you that you can count on. These are all great things to reflect on, so you know how to make the most of these opportunities, because as they emerge for you, Pisces, it's up to you to engage with these opportunities. It's up to you to ask the questions, to do the work, to say, yes, I'm interested in that. I want to learn more about that. That's how you're going to be able to attract all these things that you're desiring and work with them for the long game. Now, the opportunities that you have coming up here could help to inspire you to review or to make revisions around how you communicate, or something that you're doing in your local environment to people that you speak to or interact with every day. You may think, okay, I have to change the way that I do this. I have to change the way that I'm networking. I have to change the way that I'm branding myself locally so I can really work with these assets. Give yourself a lot of space to change your mind, to be creative, to do things more than once, and to have an open mind and a different perspective. If you get frustrated with any kind of delays around communication, or definitely short-term travel, like anything has to do with a vehicle or communication, see it as a gift, see it as a diversion that's going to help you find something else that's going to help you in a very powerful way. I do hope you have a great week, Pisces. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, Aries, let's take a look at your week. Now, Aries, last week, the wake-up call around your finances or around your earning power may have had your full attention, but I do think that underneath it all, you definitely sensed a bold charisma and courage emerging within you. Your magnetism has turned up a notch or two, and it's igniting inspiration and passions in all areas of your life. Now, this week, as Jupiter enters your first house for the first time in 12 years, you're likely to feel that fire and magnetism blossom even more. Opportunities for expansion and growth around your overall health, your vitality, your purpose, your reputation, your roots, partnerships, all places in between are really up for you right now. Your job, Aries, is to look for them and to grasp them. Use that courage you have and hold on to any opportunity or work with any opportunity as it emerges. I definitely want you to think both short-term and long-term. I think if you went through any financial stresses last week, you may just be thinking about the short-term, but there's so much opportunity here. Definitely hold the long-term in mind. Whatever opportunity you're using, can it bridge you to that next direction you want to go in? And a good way to think about that is, where do you want to be in 10 years? And how are the choices that you're making today going to support that goal to be there in 10 years? Now, this forward thinking attitude will help invite in needed revisions, revising, revisiting things that have to do around your current earning power and your self-esteem and what you view as a skill and what you view as an asset. Aries, you had a great plan and you're on the right track. There's just more to the story. And that's what this retrograde season is going to ask you to look at and revise and revisit. So over the coming weeks, have patience with yourself, have patience with others, especially if it's with clients or supervisors or anyone that helps support the resources that you have. I think if you see something that comes up more than once, that's definitely a clue for you to kind of zone into it. If you may have on one corner that someone says, you know what, I don't need this service anymore. I don't need this skill. But then you have someone else that says, you know what, I really am thinking about this skill. That's a good balance. But put your attention on that new direction and not so much on the old direction. That's what this revise, revisit is going to ask you to do. Think forward, have patience, and you're going to do just fine. I hope you have a great week, Aries. I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, guys, that is everyone. I do hope you have a fantastic week. You found some great insights to help you work with this week's energy. Now, just as a reminder, if you would like to get an email sent to you each week, so all you have to do is go straight to the signs that you want to listen to. All you need to do is go to astrologyhub.com/star signs, and we will be sure to send that to you every Friday. Okay, guys, have a great week. I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Astrology Hub Star Sign Horoscopes. If you'd like to easily jump to your personal horoscope, sign up to get a timestamped star sign episode emailed to you each Friday. Go to astrologyhub.com/star signs and sign up now. That's astrologyhub.com/star signs.